And welcome to another video by myself, Chris from Sorare on a Budget. This video is going to be looking at some bargain limited scarcity cards under the value of £30, except for the goalkeepers, but we'll come to those towards the end. So yeah, let's have a look at what I'm going to be looking at just now. So yeah, as I say, selection of limited cards under the value of £30. The cards are sorted by position, as with the rare video from the other night. So we're going to have a defenders section, midfielders, forwards, and goalkeepers. All have played the last 5 games, and they've also started the last 5 games. These prices are correct as of 9 p.m. Tonight, which is the 15th of September. Now, if you're new to Sorare and you're interested in giving it a go, you can use my link there on the screen, which is www.sorareonabudget.com. That'll take you to the Sorare website where you can sign up and you will gain a free limited card when you buy 5 from the new card auctions. And that card is sellable. You could sell it and buy an alternative card, or what you can do is you can use that in your game weeks. So without further ado, I'll move on with the video. First of all, though, I will look at the kits that I've been doing for Sorare users on Twitter. You can use these kits as profile pictures in your Sorare teams. You can also use them, obviously, as profile pictures. A lot of folk have got them as profile pictures on Twitter at the moment. They're customized. You can choose your colors, the design scheme, that sort of thing. They're available for 0.005 ETH. You can send me a direct message on Twitter at Sorare on a Budget, and you can also email. If you don't want to send ETH and you want to do PayPal instead, you can do so. So the PayPal is available. The PayPal address is available on demand. Just send me a DM and I'll pass that on to you. So without further ado, let's look at the defenders. So the defenders that I've got on here, they are all in or around the £30 mark. These prices that I have on here, now this is a little bit different from when I did the rare videos. Because the limited cards are so new, you may find that the best value for the limited cards is actually in the auctions. Now, that's not going to be popular to say when other managers are trying to sell some of these cards. However, it's just the truth. You can pick these up cheaper in the auctions than you can from other managers. Some are quite, close in line, but there's quite a lot which are just the prices that people are asking are crazy, and that is just because there is so few of them. Every time a new club's getting launched, their cards dominate the market for for a period of time, or when the La Liga cards came out, they dominated for about a week, so there wasn't any new J-League cards, MLS cards, other European League cards. It was just those ones. So the rest of them became a bit more scarce because there hasn't been as many of them issued. So because of that, they can be cheaper to buy from other managers. Cheaper to buy from the auctions than from other managers. However, most managers are reasonable. Although they might have a high price on it, you could probably negotiate with them and try and get a decent deal. Don't be one of these people that just sends 40%, 50% offers, because nobody likes that. You're wasting your time and theirs. So yeah, let's have a look. First one I've got on my list here. I have got my pad again, so I can refer down to the notes. So the first one I've got here is Nathan Silva. Now, he is the centre back for Atletico Mineiro. So far this season, he's played 16 times. He's got 2 goals in that time period. Now, Mineiro are a pretty solid team. They do get quite a few clean sheets. So that's reflected in his score, because every time you get a clean sheet, you get plus 10 points as a bonus for your defenders. So the last 5 for Nathan Silva is 60. Last 15 are 56. Now, he's been going for only 0.01 ETH now. At the minute, that's about 25 quid. Now, that's again, 60 points is going to start sending you towards, getting into those card paying positions, whichever league you may choose to use them in, whether it be America or global. Looking at the next one, that's Yutaka Yoshida. Now, I actually had him in my Asian team last week. I narrowly missed out on the cards. I had one player that played as a sub, even though he'd been an ever-present for ages. But had he started, I would have got the extra points that would have put me in the cards. He plays for Nagoya. He's been an ever-present and played every minute of every game. 1 goal, 3 assists. You do have a little bit of extra use out of him, as well as the remaining J-League fixtures. They also have the Asian Champions League, so you've got a little bit of extra utility there for him. Next one I've got is Nicholas Figal. He is the centre-back from Inter Miami. He comes up on the transfer market as Jorge Figal, as opposed to Nicholas, and this is an anomaly. It may be a middle name or that sort of thing. It happened with a couple of players in Mexico as well. You may struggle to find if you search for a certain name. So again, last 5 of 60 and the last 15 of 49. Price wise, 0.009. Again, that's the auction prices. The manager prices are usually a couple higher than that. Looking at Europe, we've got Emmanuel Agbadou. He is from Eupen in the Belgian league. Again, last 5 of 60, last 15 of 49. So you can see these guys are kind of punching above their average. 0.01. So again, not terribly expensive. We've then got Teo Koga. Last 5 of 59, last 15 of 44. He plays for Kashiwa Reysol in the J League. He has had 3 clean sheets in the last 5 games, which again, as I just said, that's plus 10 points each time, and that is going to reflect in your average. So they're on a good run of form just now, so that could be one to have a look at. Finally, I've got one that I'm really looking at. I've just noticed I've actually put his market price on him as opposed to his average price at the in the last 3 days. So the last 3-day average is actually 0.01. Because the Austrian league has only played 7 games, there isn't the last 15 data on any of the Austrian players. His last 5, however, is 60. So, I mean, there's a lot of 60s there that could form a very solid base for a team. He's played 7 out of 7 and has 2 goals for SV Riyadh. And the reason I wanted to have a look at getting him is I've got their goalkeeper. So that would fit in very well with that. I'll move on to the midfielders. Now, the first midfielder here is another Austrian lad. I found this one earlier today. I actually tweeted about his rare card because it was quite reasonably priced. Shortly after I tweeted about it, it bumped up in price. So I'm wondering if it was a follower that had it because the price was bumped up within maybe 10 minutes of my tweet. Patrick Grail. He is an attacking midfielder. He plays for Austria Klagenfurt. He has played 7 out of 7 games so far this season. 1 goal, 2 assists. Only 25 years old. Last 5 average of 59, which is pretty solid. And his average price has been 0.009, which again is pretty solid. The next one I've got is Sho Inagaki. Which is the card on the screen at the moment. Last 5 of 63 and the last 15 of 54. Now, some of these midfield prices are a little bit higher, 0.012, which puts it right in about the 30 quid mark. Again, an average of 63. If you've got 4 players scoring in the 60s and a goalkeeper pulling you in between 40 and 50, then that's, you're probably going to be in and about those cards. And there is still utility in the J League. They've still got the better part of 8 or 9 games, and again, Nagoya have the Champions League as well. So you've got a few extra games in there. So some of the midweek action you can take part in. Next one I've got is a name that might be familiar to any of the British fans in terms of Celtic, Southampton, Spurs. Victor Wanyama, now at Montreal. He had quite a slow start to the season because I actually looked at his rare card many months ago, but it was quite slow and steady. But he certainly picked that up in the last 5 games, an average of 64, last 15 of 53, and a price same as Inagaki, 0.012. Now, he has had 20 games so far this season, 2 goals, in a rich vein of form for those 64 point average. again, I mean, those two paired in midfield are tracking at what, 127 as an average. That's some high ground there. It's not, you know, some of the cards will be scoring 70s and 80s. But if you're working on a budget and you're looking to get in and about the cards, that could certainly help you. The next one on the list is Judson. He is from San Jose Earthquakes, somebody that had the 1 of 100 card, and I sold it off relatively cheaply. He has been somebody that's kind of struggled with a bit of injury this season and missed quite a few games. He has played the last 5 and scored an average of 59 for San Jose. Last 15 of 52. He's quite, you know, he's kind of he plays centre mid, somewhat of an anchor man. Average price of 0.009, as you can see. I think on the market, that's actually the same price. So you can pick him up in line with that. And again, it's a very solid card. The next one, Will Trapp, same price, 009. He is from Minnesota, last 5 of 58 and a last 15 of 54. He has played almost every game this season. He's played 21 to 22 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. And he's also captained the side on a few occasions. Now, that, again, 58, pretty solid for the price. I could certainly help you on your path. The last one in midfield is Ken Iwao. Last 5 of 57, last 15 of 63. Now, that's an impressive average for a last 15 score. 009 there as well. He plays for Takushima Vortas in the J League as well. He's played 95% of minutes for the entire season, and that's as per the transfer market website. 2 goals, 3 assists. He is 33, so I don't know what his utility beyond this season is. However, you know, if you're getting in and about the, you know, the prizes with that card at, you know, 22, 23 quid, it's not the end of the world. And, you know, obviously you can use them for the next few games and then look to move them on and bring in somebody else. So that's the midfielders. I'm going to switch over to the forwards. I only have a handful of forwards because, again, with the prices, it can be quite tricky to try and keep them in these levels. Now, you could spend more and get higher rated players, but I've tried to keep everything within about the 30 quid bracket for the purposes of this video. If you are interested in finding out about some other players, feel free to, you know, send me a DM. Now, as I say, looking at the forwards, top one here, I've got Roger Marti, as per the picture. Levante centre forward. Now, this season, in 4 games, he scored 2 goals. And he does have a solid scoring record. He's got a record of, I believe it's 70 goals in about 208 appearances for Levante, which is pretty solid, I would say. 1 in 3. Now, his price on the auctions has been, on last 3-day average, 0.01. I think the cheapest on the market was 1.5, but again, you can hang on for the auctions and see what you can try and pull them in for, or again negotiate, see if you can get it in about maybe the 1.2 mark. Now, the next one I've got is Loic Lapusen. He is from Union SG of the Belgian League. 100% starts for the season, which is 7 of 7, 1 goal, 2 assists. He's a left winger for them. Last 5 average of 53. Because they're newly promoted, there isn't last 15 data. 0.012 though, you know, so a little bit more expensive. However, it still does bring it in right at the 30 quid mark. Pretty solid start of their season, so you've got quite a long, you know, period of utility with him there. Somebody who is kind of mid-season, Cecilio Dominguez. He plays for Austin in the MLS. Also a left winger. Last 5 of 50, last 15 of 48. Now, wingers can be a bit erratic. You know, you could get assists 1 week, you could get nothing for 2 weeks, and then get assists and goals, and, you know, it could be all over the place with the scoring. So that's one thing to watch with the wingers. It's the same with the centre forwards, though. If you don't score, you're not going to really, they're not really pulling in the numbers you'd be expecting. But if they are getting in about the goals or the shots or the assists, that sort of thing, then it'll definitely obviously boost their scores up for the decisive score bonuses. So he's sitting at 0.01. I think on the market it was 0.011, so kind of within line. 26 games out of 27 this season, and he has 5 goals and 3 assists. So again, pretty solid scores there. Lastly, on the forwards, I've got Thiago Santana of Shimizu S-Pulse from the J-League. Now, he has 9 goals and 2 assists as name this season. As I've mentioned before, the J-League does only have kind of 8, 9, 10 games, depending on the club. But you can see on the screen, last 5 and last 15 average of 50. So his goal scoring and his assists will be helping, to keep that up. The market price was also the same as the average, which was 0.01. You will find some of the cards that are coming towards the end of the season, the prices are a little bit lower on them, just because obviously there's limited usage left in those cards. But it's cards that will come back round at the end of next season, or as I've said before, you can move them on before the end of the season and pick something else up instead. So I'm going to move on to the goalkeepers. I've actually put the goalkeepers in on this one, as I mentioned at the start. Now, these are obviously more than your 30 quids. These are kind of more into your 65 to maybe £80 brackets. Some of them you can get quite cheap, especially if you're keeping an eye on auctions overnight. If you see any of the auctions that finish at 4 o'clock in the morning, for example, you might want to just stick a bid on it before you go to bed and just see what happens. I know I've got a couple of players like that, just because there's fewer people on it. So the first one I've got, controversial player when he was at Leeds, Kiko Casilla. He has a last 5 of 51 and a last 15 of 54. He's on loan at Elche in the La Liga. 4 appearances this season, 2 clean sheets and 2 conceded. So those scores aren't terrible. That would probably be why obviously the 51 would be, is a bit higher than some of the other keepers I've got on the list with the clean sheets there. On the average prices that he's gone for over the last few days, 0.033. And the cheapest on the market was 0.04. So it's close, but you might want to try and either get it in the auction or see if you can negotiate with somebody or put a trade together, that sort of thing. The next one, Takanori Sugeno, last 5 of 42, last 15 of 47. Much lower price, 0.028. In fact, on the market, it was 0.029. Now, that's reflected by his age. He's 37. His contract does expire at the end of the season. However, it's a starting goalkeeper that will get you some points on the board over the next few weeks. You can maybe use him for the next few weeks and look to sell him on before the end of, the beginning to mid-October. 26 games he's played this season, 6 clean sheets. So as I say, 37 years of age and only contracted to the end of the season. You know what goalkeepers are like. I mean, Buffon's in his 40s and still playing. That's not to say Sugeno's Buffon, but the goalkeepers are their own breed. The next one I've got is a card I've actually got 2 of. I've got the limited and I've also got the rare. Samuel Sahin Radlinger. He is from the SV Riyadh, and he's played 7 appearances out of 7. He's had 1 clean sheet. Now, he did concede 7 in 1 game, but that was to RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg. They're obviously the dominant side with, the funds that they've got. So many a team are going to take several goals off of them. So I think that score is either due to fall off this coming game week or it's very soon. But yeah, that's primarily I think why his price is one of the lower ones for a starting European goalkeeper. His last few days of auction prices and just sale prices, 0.035. I managed to pick one up last week on an overnight auction for 0.0252, I think it was. And the end 2 was just because I had an odd amount in my balance, so I just put it on it, and it seemed to seal the deal. They are performing quite well at the moment, and I don't understand why he is quite as cheap. He is the number 1, and the number 2, Christopher Haas. you could pick him up for pennies and sit him there. So if for whatever reason he was dropped, you've got Haas there, you could slide in and save your value. I'd recommend that with any of the goalkeepers. Pick up the backup as cheaply as you can, so that if that keeper gets dropped for any reason, you have the backup. It'll help protect your value. If if Sahan Radlinger was to get dropped, it starts to lose value, the backup would invariably go up. So that would just help you protect your your investment in some of these goalkeepers. Lastly, I've got Masakai Higashiguchi. He is from Gamba Osaka. Last 5 of 47, last 15 of 50. Again, same as Radlinger, 0.035. The market price for him was actually 0.04. He's had 28 appearances this season, 11 clean sheets, so that's pretty solid. He is 35 years of age as well, and in a similar situation to Sugeno. However, even his rare card is a little bit more expensive, so I don't know if he's if there's been word of a new deal being negotiated or anything like that. And maybe one for Sorare Japan to maybe have a look at if you're a member of his Patreon. You may want to see if you can send him a wee DM and ask about that. However, that's all the goalkeepers I've got on there. I appreciate they're a lot more expensive, but you are going to need them for the Division 5s because you can't use the common cards. You can pick up a card that isn't being, a cheap one that's a backup that's not going to play and put it in, but you're always going to have a definite zero in there. So if you are looking to compete in the Division 5s, you are going to need to get yourself a starting goalkeeper. And my advice would be auctions and buy the backup. So that's the end of the video, and I just want to say thanks to everybody that subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you're still watching and you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please give it a subscribe. You'll get notifications if I do new videos as and when. If you've got ideas for upcoming videos, please get in touch. You can send me a message on Twitter at Sorare on a Budget. My DMs are open. And finally, again, if you haven't signed up to Sorare, you could do so at www.sorareonabudget.com. You'll get your free cards. You could sell it. You could use it, whichever you prefer. So thanks very much again for your time. I hope this helps you in your upcoming game weeks, and I will talk to you all again soon. Thanks for your time.